All right, let's talk about something you've probably felt, but maybe never really put a name to. We're going to dive into that fascinating and honestly kind of unsettling connection between the wars we love to watch for fun and the real-world conflicts that shape our entire world.
So, let's kick things off with a basic question. Why are war movies and video games just so popular? I mean, it's that rush, right? The insane action, that crystal clear sense of mission, and of course the heroes you can't help but root for. It's this epic struggle of good versus evil, all tied up in a neat little bow for a 2-hour film or a weekend gaming marathon.
But, and this is the whole point, the version of war that keeps us glued to our seats is a million miles away from the messy, complicated, and truly devastating reality. And that gap, it isn't just a little detail. It has huge consequences for how we all think about the world.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's first break down the version of war that we all know so well, the Hollywood version. It's a story that's been told so many times in so many ways, and believe me, it is incredibly powerful.
This right here just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got real war. It's a logistical nightmare, it's filled with ethical gray zones, and it's defined by just profound human suffering. And then, on the other side, you have the media's version. It's action-packed, it's good versus evil, the violence is clean, and there's always a clear-cut victory. Pop culture just takes all that chaos and makes it simple.
And this whole process, this oversimplification, it actually has a name, and it is the single most important idea we're going to talk about today. It's called the trivialization problem.
So media trivialization is pretty much what it sounds like. It's what happens when pop culture boils down something as massive and complex as war into a product that's easy to swallow. The goal stops being about helping you understand a complicated truth, and it becomes all about just keeping you entertained. It's more about selling tickets than it is about telling the whole story.
And I want to be really clear here. This isn't just me critiquing a few movie plots. When our collective understanding of something as serious as war is shaped by these simple, entertaining narratives, our ability as a society to have smart, informed debates about it gets seriously, seriously damaged. So how in the world does this actually happen? Well, a couple of really powerful theories from media studies can help us pull back the curtain and see the mechanics behind this whole simplification process.
First, you've got something called cultivation theory. The idea here is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Basically, what you watch over and over and over again starts to literally build your perception of reality. So if every single war movie you see has these clean, bloodless action scenes and heroes who never seem to have any lasting trauma, your brain just kind of starts to accept that as normal. It desensitizes you to what real violence actually is.
Then there's framing theory. Now, this is all about what the storyteller decides to put inside the frame of the picture, and, maybe more importantly, what they decide to leave out. By framing a story to focus only on a soldier's incredible heroism, for example, the media can make you completely forget to ask about, say, the civilian casualties that happen just off screen. It's a very skillful way of directing your emotions.
So, what's really driving all of this? Well, it's a perfect storm of powerful forces. You've got the raw economic pressure to make a blockbuster that everyone on the planet will want to see. You've got what they call the CNN effect, where the 24/7 news cycle needs fast, emotional stories, not deep analysis. And now, of course, you've got the endless hunger for short, viral content that has absolutely no room for any nuance.
Okay, so that's the theory, but where do we actually see this stuff in the wild? Let's decode some of the most common tropes, these cliches that just pop up again and again in the movies, TV shows, and games we all love.
I guarantee you're going to recognize these. You've got the heroic lone wolf, that one guy who seems to win the entire war by himself. You've got the enemy who's just pure, one-dimensional evil, no questions asked. There's the violence that looks cool and spectacular, but never shows you the ugly, horrifying consequences. The story almost always ends in total victory, never showing the decades of messy aftermath. And of course, in video games, war just becomes a set of points and objectives to clear.
This quote right here just absolutely nails the problem with that lone wolf trope. It says, "The vast machinery of modern military operations is reduced to the backdrop for a singular protagonist's extraordinary feats." Think about it. Real war is about these massive, complex systems, logistics, intelligence, teamwork. But in the movies, all of that just becomes wallpaper for one person's awesome story.
And this is where we get to the most important part of this whole conversation. Because this isn't just about critiquing movies.
These fictions on our screens have very, very real consequences. They create a direct line from the pixels you're watching to the actual policies being passed in the real world. You can see the chain of impact right here, and it's pretty sobering. It starts with us, just watching these simplified stories. Over time, that shapes our collective idea of what war even is. This distorted public opinion then starts to influence the entire national conversation, which, you guessed it, eventually puts pressure on policymakers to make decisions based on those popular but dangerously simple ideas.
So what is really at stake here? To put it simply, a whole lot. Our ability to think critically about war just gets chipped away. We become numb to real violence happening in the world, and, maybe most importantly, public support for going to war can be stirred up by an exciting story, not a cold, hard look at the facts. We cheer for the war on our TVs, and then we completely forget about the real costs, like decades of reconstruction and taking care of our veterans when they come home.
And all of this leads to this huge concept some experts call the Militainment complex. It's this self-sustaining loop. The entertainment industry gets amazing access to real military gear to make their movies feel authentic, and in return, the military gets the best recruitment and PR tool imaginable, one that glorifies their work and makes all their tech look super cool. It just feeds itself.
So after all of that, what's the big takeaway? Look, the point of this is not to tell you to stop watching action movies or playing video games. Not at all. The real goal is to give you a new pair of glasses. It's to help you go from just being a passive consumer to being an active, critical viewer.
So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to carry with you. The next time you're watching an epic battle play out on your screen, just ask yourself this: what's being simplified here? What part of the messy, complicated real story is being conveniently cut out just to make a better action scene? What crucial truth is being left just outside the frame?